Hey everybody, thanks for tuning in. I'm Michael Hoyp. I'm going to be playing a Sligh Mirror against my friend Lester, and here is the version that I will be piloting. There's nothing really too fancy going on here. I'll quickly just go over what's in the deck. So there's fetch lands in the deck to fuel Grim Lavamancer, as well as Barbarian Ring, and also a little bit of deck thinning. Curse Scroll is a nice recurring source of damage if the games go long. Also, as a way to get through a Circle Protection Red. Jackal Pup is usually your best turn one play. The 1 mana 2 power creature is really good. It does have the drawback that it deals damage to you, but usually you're the aggressor and that's fine. Lightning Bolt is the most efficient removal spell. Mogg Fanatic is just a nice 1/1 that can interact with some mana elves or whatnot, but then it also just almost always gets some amount of damage in, because if they have a removal spell, you're always able to fling it at your opponent. There are a couple of copies of Shock, and that's just added interaction against some decks, just for some cheap mana. 4 copies of Incinerate, that's usually like the next best bolt. This list does have 1 copy of Price of Progress, the other 3 are in the sideboard. That's just kind of a metagame choice. I guess now I think when I built this list there were more non-basics, or maybe the metagame was a little bit different, but you might want to swap this out for something else. There's a couple of Volcanic Hammer, so this is a decent rate of damage. It's just like 2 mana sorcery speed is not that great, so there's sometimes this card's a little bit awkward, but it's something that we've played with. So 3 Sulfuric Vortex. This card can be really powerful and is really good against some of the decks, and can just shut off life gain and then just be a source of damage that's really hard to deal with. Some decks just can't beat an enchantment, so you just be able to finish off dealing 2 to 6 damage to your opponent. Ballning is a great 3 mana play if you can connect with the 6/1. It's basically just a burn spell on legs. And then, of course, the iconic Fireblast. You will often end a lot of games with this. Briefly moving over the sideboard, there's a couple of lava darts. That's primarily for the mirror, but then also against decks with like mana elves and stuff. There's 1 Pyroblast and 3 red elemental blasts against the blue decks. And then 3 more Price of Progress, and this is just against the decks that obviously have some non-basics that'll just increase your clock. There's 3 Pyroclasm that you can bring in against the decks that have a lot of creatures and you might need to take a little bit slower game plan. And then there's 3 Anarchy, which can deal with problematic permanents like Circle Protection Red. So that's the list I'll be playing. Oh, I guess a Barbarian Ring is just another colorless source of damage that can get through a Circle Protection Red, but then also this is a way to turn your land drop into a source of damage. So that's pretty much the list. We'll see how it does in action. Okay, so we're playing the Sligh Mirror. I have won the die roll, and I'm going to keep this hand. I'm going to lead things off with a Mogg Fanatic, as it's Grim Lavamancer obviously is better later in the game. Okay, so Lester has kept 7. I guess there is an argument that like Grim Lavamancer would be online on turn 2, which could be good against like any 1-drop he plays. But I'm going to start with the Mogg Fanatic. Okay, so turn and see what Lester has in store. He's going to lead things off with a Jackal Pup. Okay. Okay, so I can have 2 options if I want to play the Incinerate right now on the Jackal Pup. Makes him take 3 and kills his creature. Then I can deck with Mogg Fanatic. Or I could offer up the trade. I think he's unlikely to block. Uh, but let's just say, would would I prefer to incinerate it, or would I prefer to him block? I think I'll just attack. Uh, okay, so he does block right away. All right. And then I'm going to play 2 Grim Lavamancers. I guess I'm a little bit surprised that he blocked, but I guess it makes sense because I just would have shot it most likely afterwards. So the second Grim Lavamancer is not as good, but I guess I can attack with one and then maybe shoot him with the other one. And it is always a resource management game of whether you want to use your Grim Lavamancer's activations early or late. There is a little bit of tension because there are Barbarian Rings. Okay, so here I'm just going to play Ball Lightning. I guess yeah, I'm gonna play Ball Lightning now, yeah, because especially since he's tapped out. So I was gonna say it. Thought about for a second playing Sulfuric Vortex, but you definitely want to get the damage in when you can, and then I can follow up Sulfuric Vortex later. So he does have Ghitu Encampment, which is a card that is pretty good in the mirror if the games go long, because the 2/1 first striker is difficult to get through, and it just turns a resource that usually is dead, like a land, into something that is valuable. Okay, so he's playing another Curse Scroll, so he doesn't have mana to activate Curse Scroll or Ghitu Encampment. Okay, we'll play this Wooded Foothills. So I had to imagine he has some burn spell. I guess I just attack because if he's spending a card to kill one of the Grim Lavamancers, then I can just use the other activations, and yeah, I guess maybe he's close enough to dead that could be activating right now, but alright, so he'll go to 10. Okay, we'll see if we get it through any damage. Got an Incinerate on the Lavamancer, okay. We'll go to 9. And I will play Sulfuric Vortex. I'm very far ahead on the life total, so pretty comfortable to play this right now. I guess there are certain scenarios, if they do have a bunch of mountains, that you could get like double Fireblasted out and then another burn spell, but looks like he's drawing all the curse scrolls this game. Jackal Pup. Okay. And a Grim Lavamancer. Alright, so he's effectively at 5 from the Sulfuric Vortex. Yeah, and then I have the rest of the burn spells. Okay. Yeah, I guess maybe my math, I should have thought a little bit longer the turn when I attack with both the Grim Lavamancers. I could see if the game was close enough that I should have just been activating, so I'll fetch now. I guess he could have had a Fireblast in theory. Okay, so I guess I get to target the Jackal Pup. And I guess I'll just kill the Grim Lavamancer for good measure. I guess there's no, yeah, it's not like he could deal that much damage on that one turn. So, all right, things have just worked out really well. I think if I like didn't draw that Ball Lightning on that turn, then the game could have been a lot different and the game could have gone longer. But I had a curve out that definitely favored me. So let's go on to game 2. Okay, we're back for game 2. This is another game without sideboarding, and this hand is definitely slower than the last hand I had. There's no Wonder Up creature. I do still have a Power Soul spell like Ball Lightning, but I just don't interact that well with what he does. So I think I'm going to keep this. I'm a little bit reluctant. I mean, I don't know if it's better to mulligan to 6 to try and get a higher quality but lose on the quantity, or if it's like here this like hand is kind of slow, and if the game goes long I think I should be okay, but there's no guarantee that I'm going to do that, but I am going to keep. I want to take this moment to thank DojoTradeBots for making this video possible. Check them out on Magic Online if you play. And then also they have a TCG player store, which is Dojo Trade Paper Outlet. So check them out. That's a way to support what I'm doing. Okay, so Lester chose to be on the draw. I was a little surprised, I guess, when I saw priority, but there are definitely arguments that the red mirrors are based on card advantage, so the being on the draw makes sense. All right, so we got mirroring curse scrolls. Going to. I had the option of playing Volcanic Hammer, which uses all my mana, or playing a Mogg Fanatic, which could be a repeatable source of damage. I am going to go for the Volcanic Hammer just to use all my mana. And also, because I have Curse Scroll in hand, that might come down to the point where getting the cards out of my hand is pretty important. And sometimes working in a 2-mana sorcery spell is a little bit tricky. So I'm going to opt to use this right now. Okay, if he's keeping mana up, then I don't really see how I can. I don't think I want to use Ball Lightning, so I'm just going to go with this Mogg Fanatic. And then pass the turn. And so yeah, my hand is a little bit awkward that just like I have a 3 casting Ball Lightning. If he always has mana up, then it's a little awkward, and then these Fireblasts are going to come into play later. Okay, so he has Sandstalker. Okay, so if you're not familiar with this, it's a 2-mana 4/2 haste, and at the end of turn it comes back to your hand. So it's one of those cards where it doesn't hit quite as hard, but it has a little bit more staying power. You can cast it multiple times. Okay, so he's gonna attack. I guess this means I get to trade back with Ball Lightning, but he could then give me back for another chunk. But I guess if he has to spend his 3 mana every turn, then I'm probably close to pulling ahead. Sulfuric Vortex, okay. So I'm gonna use the Ball Lightning. I do have to take a damage whenever I use the Barbarian Ring. If I'm putting him to 10, he has the option to put me to 10 as well, but then I have the first opportunity to act, I guess. And I still have a recurring source of damage. So, and then I do have the option. It's not guaranteed because he might be able to use a removal spell at some point, but Mogg Fanatic could always block and soak up 4 damage. Okay, Grim Lavamancer. All right. So he's opting not to play the Sandstalker here. Interesting. So I have a one price of progress in the main, which is not very good in this spot. Especially since they have Barbarian Ring. There might be a spot where like I could just play it just to get out of my hand to make Curse Scroll better, but so now I have the option. I guess I have Sulfuric Vortex, or I could activate Curse Scroll and name Fireblast, or I could just attack with Mogg Fanatic. So how many more turns do I think this game's gonna go? Do I want to like flip a coin to try and get rid of the Lavamancer? I'm able to play Sulfuric Vortex. So if I played Sulfuric Vortex, I would take 1 damage. I go down to 13. He has the option of attacking, we'll say, for definitely for 4. He would have the possibility. So I could go to 9. If he had a land, he could. I guess he doesn't have any cards in his graveyard. So more likely that it's Grim Lavamancer is attacking for 1. So let's say he's attacking for 5. I go down to 8. And I go down to 6. So my life total seems somewhat comfortable. I guess unless he has like Ult and Fireblast. I mean, he has to be. I have to imagine he's casting something at the end of turn, so I have to put my life down a little bit lower too. He would go. I mean, he's probably gonna block, but if he didn't, he would go to 9, then go to 7. I would just need to deal Fireblast. I guess I'm going to attack first. Because I think if this gets in, then I can think about playing Sulfuric Vortex. Okay, so he's blocking. Alright. We'll trade. So, So I'm guessing he has something like Incinerate. So let's say he has Incinerate. And I've cast Sulfuric Vortex, so I would go to 10. He would go to 8. Then I would take 4 from the Sandstalker to go to 6, and then also take 2 more on my turn. So I'd be dead to Fireblast. I think I'm gonna pass. I guess this also disincentivizes him of like tapping out to play the Sandstalker. Oh, interesting that he didn't have anything to play at the end of that turn. I am gonna use Curse Scroll at the end of turn. I do have to take a damage, and it's only a 50% chance that I am hitting, but if I blast, I'm trying to close out. Like if I draw, I guess if he's at 8, Price of Progress was revealed. Okay, so I missed on that one. So I have a Wooded Foothills. So I will play this. And I think again I'm just passing the turn. Because I need to I have a Fireblast and a Barbarian Ring, so I have 6 damage. So here's 3 from an Incinerate. 3 more, okay. I think I might be in trouble. Okay, Hammerboard. So if there's no Fireblast, he also has to not have a bolt because I'm gonna at least take a damage from my Curse Scroll. Okay, he has a Fireblast. Alright, so I wasn't quite able to close out the game. Yeah, if I had another mountain, then I could play 2 Fireblasts. I guess I can fetch, cast Price of Progress, make him fetch so he'd go to 9. Fireblast him down to 5. Barbarian Ring down to 3. I don't think I can do any more damage than that. I mean, I guess I'll try it. I guess it can't hurt. I don't know how this would. Alright, so he took the extra 2 points of damage. And now I will. Alright, I'm dead, but. Yep, can only deal 2 more. Okay. So he takes the second game. So we'll move on to sideboard and see how that changes things. Okay, so this is the sideboard that I have for this version of Sligh. The Lava Dart is the standout card that just really has a good effect in the mirror. Just you're able to get 2 uses. We talked about a card advantage game, and this is a cheap card that you're able to trade for Grim Lavamancers, Jackal Pups, Ball Lightnings. Though it looks like the list that Lester is playing has Sandstalkers. So I'm going to take out this Price of Progress, and then my least infallible card. So Sulfuric Vortex is also just like one of those cards that is just inconsistent, because you can only play it when you're ahead a significant margin. I'm going to take out 1. Now I just need to look at. I mean, I guess Pyroclasm is the only other card. I don't think that does anything. I mean, I don't know if there's ever like a game plan you can try play conservative route and try and get card advantage out of that, but I think that's just a recipe to disaster. So we'll submit this and be there for game 3. Okay, so I can't just slam the yes button to play first. The last game, we did have Lester opt to be on the draw. The thing is, and it's kind of funny because it's like usually when I'm gonna still choose to be on the play, and so it's kind of like we have a differences, and I know our deck lists are different, so I think maybe that's part of it, but I think just like having cards like Ball Lightning, and if they're tapped out, it can just be way more effective. So I am gonna use a Bloodstained Mire right away, just to thin my deck a little bit. I don't really want to draw any more lands. I know it would be good to avoid taking damage, but given that I expect to be using at least the Bloodstained Mire, at least one, I mean, it's possible that I draw land, but it's likely that I'm going to have to break one of the Bloodstained Mire to cast a Ball Lightning, so I'm going to use it right away. Okay, Firebolt takes out the Jackal Pup that I have. Also hits me for 2. And I have a Volcanic Hammer, so again, I'm going to use the fetch. The life does obviously matter in this matchup, probably more than any other, but I'm going to assume that I am not going to draw a land the next turn, and if I'm casting Ball Lightning, then it's a little bit better to do it that way. A Curse Scroll. Alright, so without anything... So here's our choice. So I don't really want to play Ball Lightning, because if he just has like a 1-mana card to get rid of it. Am I confident enough to play a Sulfuric Vortex? The thing is, like, because he has Curse Scroll, he's likely to just have 3 mana up the next turn. I mean, he has a bunch of cards in his hand, so it's probably pretty unlikely that he'd be able to scroll a Ball Lightning. Am I gonna win this game if I'm not casting Sulfuric Vortex? I guess that's the question I'm looking at. So if I'm casting Ball Lightning here, I'm gonna assume it dies. I'm gonna assume it's not gonna get through damage. My route to victory then is I just have 4 points of burn. I mean, I'm giving him a lot of time, and I'm really just depending on the top of my deck. If I'm going for Sulfuric Vortex, I'm barely ahead in the damage race. I'm going to take a bit of a risk and play the Sulfuric Vortex. It could be something that I am going to regret later, but given that I have these sources, like, this also might give him a little push to tap out to play something like the Sandstalker that we saw, or just to try and race. And if I get him a spot where I'm able to cast it and connect with the Ball Lightning, then that's pretty good. Okay, so he's got another Curse Scroll. Okay. Okay, so I have 4 cards in my graveyard right now. I think I just play the Mountain right now. Question is, do I want to use a Ball Lightning? I don't think I do, but the likelihood that I'm like going to connect with this Ball Lightning is just going down further and further. But given just the way that he's held up mana the last few turns, I have to imagine that he has something. So I am going to pass, and we'll see how things progress. These are the kind of spots where like there are a lot of intricacies in the red mirror, and your resources, which typically in most matchups are just pointed at your opponent's face or sometimes at a creature that's getting in the way, become really nuanced, and figuring out when you want to cast spells, what you want to cast them on is really important and can really change the texture of the game. Right. With Shock being so cheap, I can keep it for a while. Okay, so I'm going to use this Volcanic Hammer. And I do have a Barbarian Ring. So I'm at 5 cards in graveyard right now. So next turn I have the, if I shock him, or shock. Oh, okay. Ooh, that was just at the wrong time. So I only have 5 in the yard right now. So since I'm not able to play the ball lightning, I was going to say that I could play the ball lightning next turn and then be able to use Barbarian Ring after I shocked him at the end of the turn, but looks like that's not an option here. Okay, he has a ball lightning of his own, which I will shock. We'll let him attack. Give him a little bit of false sense of hope. Okay, so now I think I want to pull the trigger. Yeah, on this ball lightning. Yeah, I mean, I feel like there's never going to be a spot where I get in with this otherwise, and yeah, it's not at my face, so that's and if we just connected there, then we just win. So okay, he goes to 6. So if I connect with a Fireblast and pass the turn, then I can kill him. He could still possibly kill me on upkeep. There are Curse Scroll is in play. So if I'm getting attacked down to 8 and then taking damage down to 6, I think just the way that he's like really, I think if he had like a bunch of burn spells, I guess he could have Fireblast and then one other thing. I am going to risk it and let this hit me. There is definitely some danger, but I think it's just more likely that like I would have to draw another Fireblast or connect with a ball lightning, and for me uh to for it to not change the clock. So I'm just going to Fireblast him and hope that I live through his upkeep. Okay, so I'm getting bolted. I'm going down to 3. That doesn't really change anything. Oh, wait, he's just at 2? Oh, I don't know why I did that. I definitely should have just fired that up. I don't know why I was thinking like that. Okay, so now, okay, I don't know what I was thinking. That was definitely a brain fart. But luckily nothing happened there, and I was able to take that game. Okay, so we'll just do our same sideboarding plan. Take out the Price of Progress and the Sulfuric Vortex for 2 Lava Darts. So only slight improvement, and we'll go on to game 4. Okay, so we're back for game 4. Lester has chose to play first this game. So looks like something's changed in terms of what he's feeling. I can't keep this hand. If these were mountains, then I definitely would, or most likely would. The Barbarian Rings are just going to deal me way too much damage. Okay, this is a hand that it's not going to be applying a ton of pressure, but if the game goes long and I at least have some shocks and lightning bolts and a Grim Lavamancer to maybe interact, I'll put a Curse Scroll on the bottom. I'm fine with this. All right. Okay, so he leads off with a Grim Lavamancer. So the question is, am I supposed to Curse Scroll, Lavamancer, or shock it? And I I mean it's unlikely that he, I guess if he just had like fetch land, he could bolt me and then Lavamancer my guy. So yeah, I guess I'm just gonna shock this. If I might have to be a little more conservative with my burn spell if like I didn't have a lightning bolt in hand, and I could be worried about a card like the Sandstalker. But I think it's best to conserve my life and try and get a few more lands and not let that Grim Lavamancer deal any unnecessary damage. Okay, now I have the choice of playing Jackal Pup or Grim Lavamancer. So I think either of them he would be using removal spells. I guess I mean I could play Curse Scroll, but I guess the one advantage to Curse Scroll is it doesn't really allow him to use his mana that well because we're at a point where I don't think he can like realistically just burn my head, and it'd be interesting. So there actually is some merit to just playing the Curse Scroll here because I get to use my mana and it kind of doesn't allow him to use his. I guess one thing I need to worry about is Ball Lightning, but I mean, given that I've missed land drops, I can't just not play anything forever. So I'm gonna play this Curse Scroll though. I think my idea is just that it just makes the sequencing for him a little bit more awkward. That I think he'd be happy to fire off a removal spell on either the Lavamancer or the Jackal Pup, and now I'm kind of denying that option. All right, he's fetching. I'm guessing this is for a Ball Lightning. Yep. So I'll take 6. Okay, so hopefully I draw a mountain, and then I can play the Lavamancer and the Pup. I guess I could, in theory, hold one of them up for a second Grim Lava or second Ball Lightning, but I'm gonna get these out of my hand. Try and get a little bit of board presence, maybe have a recurring source of damage. Okay, so he's got Crisco his own. He's got 3 cards in the hand right now. We have a Wooded Foothills. So I have the option of I guess I'm going to attack. I guess I have the option of like fetching and using Grim Lavamancer right away. But I think it's better to just get the damage in now. So he'll at worst he's okay, so he's incinerating a Jackal Pup. Yep. I mean I guess in theory I could like first scroll my own Jackal Pup, but that does not seem like an efficient use of mana, but that would make me take 1 less damage. Okay. So I don't think I can cast this Sulfuric Vortex. I'm just oh. And he's bolting my guy. Does that change anything? Right now I'm gonna think for a while. And if I go to 10, play Sulfuric Vortex, he could curse scroll me on upkeep. I'm basically taking 4 a turn. And I have 7 points of damage. I'd be able to curse scroll too. Let me see. Assuming I don't draw anything, how many turns I would have to take to kill him. So I play Sulfuric Vortex, he goes to 16. I untap. I bolt. I guess I'm not necessarily even able to curse scroll that turn, so I bolt. He go to 13. And then I take a turn. He goes to 11. I could Fireblast. It does not seem like I'd be able to win that race. I mean, I think. I mean, it's 3 turns if he draws nothing, basically, but that seems unlikely. And how many turns does it take me to kill him? And things have to go my way, but am I winning a game otherwise? That I don't know. Like the longer I hold like these cards in my hand, then the worst Curse Scroll gets as well. Yeah, I don't think I can do it, so. Got a Wasteland. He also didn't use Curse Scroll during his upkeep. So I guess that means he had Wasteland in his hand. Because otherwise you wouldn't necessarily do it, but you definitely I feel like you'd think about it. So now I have the option of I think I just do a 1 and 3 of trying to curse scroll him. I guess I could like use a lightning bolt. I am gonna name Fireblast because I'm expecting that this game is. I guess maybe I should not name Fireblast. I'm not exactly sure. What is the best card to name in this situation? Like, it's only very minor. Okay, I named Lightning Bolt and revealed Fireblast. Okay, now he knows two of the cards. Okay, I will play Wooded Foothills. So I'm going to see what's in his hand. He is going to choose Fireblast. All right. Oh, Firebolt. Sorry, Firebolt. So that one. Oh, he didn't. Oh, I guess he could. Yeah. He's gonna Firebolt me. Oh, Grim Lavamancer. Okay. Well, that one I can scroll. Most likely. Okay, so I'm gonna fetch. I'm gonna bolt him. I'm gonna use Curse Scroll on the Lavamancer. Okay, I missed. Guess I just try it again. That I have 2/3 chance. Okay, got it that time. So this is he's effectively at 7. Yeah, I think I need to draw Ball Lightning, but he's just always gonna have Curse Scroll mana up. Kind of tricky for me, but I guess he can deal 4 damage to me. Oh, if he has another mass, oh no, he's Firebolting me. Yep. I just need to have. I mean, yeah, Lava Dart. That's 10. I can deal him 12. Yeah, I am just dead. Flame Tongue Kavu. All right, no, that's a card to think about for. And he'll finish me off with either Curse Scroll or Firebolt, whatever his preference is. Okay, he chose the Curse Scroll. Yeah, it looks like Lester has got that game, so we'll move on to game number 5. So, given that we've seen like Flame Tongue Kavu, I mean, because these Sulfuric Vortex have been. It was okay one of the games, they've been pretty bad 2 of the games. It just seems like a real awkward card to have like Pyroclasm if there's never a good spot to cast it. Like that game, I don't think there ever was a good turn that I would cast Pyroclasm. If I had Pyroclasm in my hand, then it's just as bad, almost if not worse, than Sulfuric Vortex. Like Sulfuric Vortex, at least if I'm ahead, might do something. I don't know. I'm going to keep it as is. I guess maybe Price of Progress. I guess that's probably better. We have seen the like Wastelands and the uh Ghitu Encampments. So I guess the Price of Progress is might just deal 2 damage to him. It's not great, but I guess I'm going to try it for something else. I still think I do like being on the play. I feel like there's just so many times that I just want to. There's so many more opportunities you can run away with a game by being on the play. So this is definitely like a controlling hand, and actually does like a pretty good job of like getting Curse Scroll online relatively early. I don't want to be tapping Barbarian Ring every time, but I am gonna keep this. So I will play a Curse Scroll. Then next turn I can play another Curse Scroll and have Lightning Bolt up. He has a Grim Lavamancer. Okay, I'm going to use the Lightning Bolt on this Grim Lavamancer. Well, let me think about the likelihood of me. I guess the next turn I'm drawing another random card. I would have Curse Scroll in play. I would have a new card drawn. I'd have a 50% shot of just getting the Grim Lavamancer with my Curse Scroll. I'm not going to take any chances. I'm just going to bolt it since I have a pretty good. I mean, I have a recurring source of damage, so if the game does go long, then I think I should be in decent shape. Okay, interesting that he has Wasteland for the Barbarian Ring that I have. Am I interested in like offering up this trade of Wasteland for Barbarian Ring right now? I think I will. I will play this Jackal Pup as well. Alright, so he didn't use the Wasteland immediately, so maybe he also needs that mana. Okay, he's firebolting the Jackal Pup. Okay, so that goes down. I take 2. I'm guessing this is where he wastelands me. No. Okay. I have a mountain. Well, at least I'm now able to use a Curse Scroll without taking damage. I have got 50% chance of hitting with Curse Scrolls. It also really disincentivizes him for playing creatures like Ball Lightning, because he just might not get anything out of it. I guess in a case of like, I guess I should just. If he wastelands at the end of turn, then maybe I don't want to cast the bolt. But I guess if I'm activating Curse Scroll, I probably should just bolt him and then for sure hit with the Curse Scroll, take an extra damage with the Barbarian Ring. But he has a Curse Scroll of his own. Okay. Yeah, I guess I just want to be connecting, and so like because I have Curse Scroll online, then I don't really need to save a Lightning Bolt for something like a Ball Lightning or any of his creatures that he might play. Okay, do I want to use this during my upkeep? I don't think I do. Okay, Price of Progress. I think I kind of want to cast it right now. Have his Bolt take 2. Problem is that it takes me off of like using Curse Scroll for a turn. But I mean, if I keep it in my hand, then I won't necessarily. But if I'm tapping down with Price Progress, also that gives him an opportunity to hit me with something like a Sandstalker or a Ball Lightning if he has another mountain. I don't think he has another mountain given how he's like played this game, but he certainly could draw one. I'm okay with trading. I guess 2 points of damage, and because he could always target his own wasteland with this to itself, so it's not like he would have to target my Barbarian Ring. Yeah, I'm getting incinerated. So he's ahead right now in terms of damage. But if he's not applying like a. Yeah, like his Curse Scroll is way worse than mine. He's got 4 cards in hand right now. I'm at 9, so. Right, I have a mountain. Okay. If he does Wasteland me, then I will respond with Fireblast using it. I guess I would go down to 2 mana, so maybe that's not necessarily a thing I can do yet. We're at the end of my turn and he's thinking. Does that tell us anything? I guess maybe a card like Bolt would be a card you'd think about because it's like cheap enough that you. I feel like you probably just Masticore. Interesting. Okay, so now I got some choices. I can Fireblast the Masticore. This is opportunity. I can Curse Scroll him, put him at 10. Curse Scroll him, put him to 8. Fireblast him down to 4. Barbarian Ring down to 2. If I Fireblast the Masticore, then I can still use Curse Scroll at end of turn, put him to 10, put me to 8 because I take a damage from the barb. Oh, this end of turn I wouldn't need to take a damage, but future activations of the Curse Scroll I would. I am going to. Oh, I guess I also have the option of. I guess that's not any different. I was to say I could Curse Scroll and Barbarian Ring after I Fireblast him. But that's the same amount. It would. I am gonna Fireblast. I'm not sure if feels a little bit awkward, but yeah, another Curse Scroll. Alright, so I'll pass a turn. I guess it definitely hurts when I'm taking 1 damage from my Barbarian Ring every time that I'm using Curse Scroll. One thing is like I could have something like a mountain that I drew, and he might be like, "Oh, I get to Wasteland your Barbarian Ring," but I would keep a mountain in my hand in this instant because of Curse Scroll. Let's see, another Massacre. Okay. I'll wait to make sure we're going to the end of the turn. I do need to make sure. I might want to Curse Scroll him during my upkeep. With that. So he's at 8. I'm at 8. I think I need to draw a card. Alright, I draw Grim Lavamancer. It's not very good since he has a Masticore. Can just play the Grim Lavamancer. I mean, it's probably going to die and then I get hit for 4. I don't have any outs though. So how can I win from this position? If I scroll him end of turn, I go to 7. I have to hit. So I have a 50 chance of doing that. And then I draw another Fireblast. Or if I basically need to draw another Fireblast, I think. Or let's say, is there any chance I can play Grim Lavamancer? No, I would say use Barbarian Ring. I would put him to 6, but then I lose my land. No, I think I just need to try and scroll him twice and hope to draw Fireblast and for him not to kill me. So that's a lot of ifs, but I think that's my best route. Yeah, I don't like this plan, but I don't think there's a better permutation that gives me a chance of winning. Discards Hammer of Bogarden. And he has another mountain. Okay. I'm taking 4. Okay. I mean, I'm just dead to like pretty much any burn spell. Well, he doesn't have an immediate route to victory. At least it's not apparent. Or he's just making everything a little bit more dramatic. We will see. 2 mana. Are mountains getting sacrificed? No. Okay. Oh, we are getting fire blasted. All right. Nothing we could do there. So that'll wrap it up. So Lester takes down the red mirror. So yeah, he definitely had options where he could go a little bit bigger. I mean, his deck with like Firebolts, a Hammer, Bow Gardens that have like natural sources if the game goes long, or like even like a Sandstalker. But then even he got to sideboard into something where he has like Masticores and Flame Tongue combos, and he can definitely go bigger and go over the top. So it was a really interesting matchup, and hope you enjoyed it. So if you want to suggest what match I should play next, just let me know in the comments. And thanks everyone, and take care.